We've certainly seen other instances where senior referees, is it the case they're not being overruled by more junior figures in the VAR control room?
No, I don't think it is actually. But taking on what Mark just said there, I think the Premier League have had 89 games so far this season, and not once has they gone over to that sideline. So although the referee review area, as it's called, is there and available for them to look at, they seem to be quite reticent about going over there. And this business about it will take too long to go over there, that particular game, what we're talking about, the Liverpool-Manchester United game, the incident itself took 2 minutes. So, hey, if it's taking 2 minutes for the check to be made by Stockley Park, then surely Martin Atkinson can make better use of those 2 minutes to go over, and public perception is that he is making the decision. And as Mark has said there, even if he stuck to his own on-field decision, at least people would be realising where that decision was made. And I'm at a loss at the moment as to why the Premier League will not implement use of the referee review area.
Wasn't the only incident, guys. We also saw two penalties not given. What did you make? Were they both blatant for you, Vertonghen and Kevin De Bruyne as well? I mean, the Vertonghen one just seemed to go on and on and on, didn't it?
I really don't know how this isn't given. I'll be honest. It's as blatant a challenge. Not just the one contact, but the hooking by Vertonghen on Delafeu. I mean,
the penalty.
How you miss that first time is beyond me. Let alone
well, they've missed it first
VAR.
time, and they've missed
let alone with VAR.
in the VAR. I mean,
I'll go back to what I said in yesterday's show for those that were decided to tune in. And every country seems to be having a little squabble and moan up about VAR at the moment, but I think the Premier League and the English referees are implementing this poorer than any other country. And we've seen some stinkers from Spain and from Italy and from one or two other countries, but I think the Premier League and the English officials at the moment are making the biggest pig's ear of this technology in European football.
I'll say this, and Mark hit on it, and he hit the nail on the head. I thought the best example of VAR usage we've seen so far was in the 2018 World Cup.
Correct.
And I understand, listen, it's a different format, given it's a short tournament as opposed to a 38-game season, but that was the best usage of it. Regardless of who's adopted before or has continued since, in all the domestic leagues, nothing worked better than Russia 2018.
Peter, it's we've seen a lot of instances. It's particularly penalties that seem to be rubbing everyone the wrong way. They just seem so reluctant to overturn the referee's decisions on penalties in particular.
Yes, we've seen it on a number of occasions where penalty kicks, as we all look at it and think that's a penalty kick, haven't been interfered with by the VAR, and that questions itself. And I have no answer for that. All I can say is that they seem to have set that bar really high for their intervention. I think too high. We've seen, I think it was Silva who was tripped in the Bournemouth-Manchester City game early on this season, and now we've seen the Vertonghen one there on Delafeu last weekend. Clearly tripped. The referee on the day, Chris Kavanagh, probably didn't have the right angle to see it, and that's why VAR was introduced, for those missed opportunities there that the referee doesn't see. And from the camera angle from behind the goal, it was clearly a trip and clearly should have been a penalty kick. Again, that bar has been set far too high in the Premier League, I think, for the intervention from VAR.
So, Peter, overall, what's your sense of where we're at? Are we going to see changes? Are they going to tweak the system? Are referees going to go and start looking at monitors, for instance?
So if we look around the world and we look around other competitions and other federations, everyone uses that pitch side monitor just for a further check, just to make sure that what they're saying is the correct call, and also for perception about the referee seen to be actually making that final decision. And I think the Premier League will come under pressure to make sure that those referees or their referees go over there and have a look. I think in terms of that high tariff in terms of the intervention, again, with what we've seen and what we've seen so far with Mike Riley coming out and saying that they've missed 4 opportunities already this season, I think that bar will slowly come down and it will level off. Again, we're in an evolving position with the Premier League. It's their first season. They're getting used to it. And hopefully by the end of the season, we'll have some consensus. But at the moment, it does need changing, and I think change is on its way.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN.